All right, let's jump right into this explainer. If you work in construction, estimating, or quantity surveying, you already know the pain. Manually calculating the materials for a reinforced concrete lift shaft is just a grueling, time-consuming process, right? Well, today, we're going to look at an automated tool that completely flips the script on this. It literally turns complex lift shaft dimensions into a fully priced bill of quantities, or BOQ, in mere seconds.
Here's a quick roadmap of what we're covering today. We'll start with what this automated template actually is, then explore its key features and coverage. After that, we'll walk through the incredibly simple 3-step workflow and wrap up with exactly why this tool is a total game changer.
So, kicking things off with Section 1, the Automated Takeoff Template.
What exactly is this thing? At its core, it's a completely input-driven spreadsheet. Its entire job is to automatically calculate both the quantities and the pricing for a reinforced concrete lift shaft. You just punch in a few standard inputs, things like your height, width, and thickness, and boom, the template generates a complete priced bill of quantities for the base, the walls, and the cover slab. Best of all, you don't have to touch a single mathematical formula.
What's really wild is how it handles all the heavy lifting behind the scenes. It completely eliminates all that tedious manual measurements we're used to. It instantly processes the shaft geometry, and whenever an input changes, it dynamically updates every single price line in the BOQ. It is just remarkably fast.
Moving right along to Section 2, Key Features and Coverage.
There are some genuinely clever mechanics at play here. First off, because it's input-driven, you only ever edit a few designated blue cells. From there, it models the lift shaft as a hollow box, accounting for the pit raft base, the 4 walls, and the cover slab. It even auto-deducts door openings from your concrete volume and formwork area. Plus, it generates a full reinforcement takeoff with automatic bar bending weights, and, this is a lifesaver, it includes a built-in sanity check using the reinforcement ratio to instantly catch any input errors.
And the coverage is incredibly comprehensive, spanning across 5 distinct bills. You've got Bill A handling the concrete work for the pit, walls, and slab. Bill B calculates formwork for all the soffits, faces, and edges. Bill C breaks down all that heavy reinforcement. Bill D captures finishings, like the granite floor tiling. And finally, Bill E wraps it up with waterproofing for the base, walls, and the sump pit. It really is the whole shebang.
Ultimately, everything across those 5 bills rolls up instantly into a neat collection and grand total. You're left with a highly professional, color-coded layout that you can immediately issue to a client or just drop straight into a larger project pricing document without missing a beat.
All right, on to Section 3, 3 steps to BOQ. Let's see how this actually works in practice.
The actual workflow is ridiculously simple. Just 3 steps. Step 1, you open the quantification sheet and edit the blue input cells with your specific shaft dimensions. Step 2, open the BOQ sheet where your quantities are already automatically filled out and drop your unit rates into the yellow cells. Step 3, read the fully priced collection in total. That is literally it. This color-coded system is pretty brilliant because that logically separates your 2 totally different types of data. The blue cells are strictly for the physical dimensions, your internal sizes, heights, thicknesses, and door openings. The yellow cells, that's all your financial data, the editable unit rates you need to actually price out the bill of quantities.
We all know design changes happen constantly, right? Well, this workflow accommodates revisions flawlessly. If you need to recost a completely different lift shaft on a new project, changing just one input in a blue or yellow cell triggers an instant recalculation across the entire system. No manual rework required whatsoever.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, why use this tool?
So, why should you care? If you're a contractor, an estimator, or a QS, the benefits are absolutely massive. First, you're saving hours of mind-numbing manual measurement and bar-bending takeoffs. Second, it completely wipes out arithmetic errors because it relies on meticulously linked formulas. It gives you a consistent, highly auditable output for your tenders, and it's a universal tool you can reuse across an unlimited number of projects.
There's a great concept here. Accuracy you can trace. You are never left guessing where a number came from. You can click on any generated quantity in the final BOQ and trace it straight back to the original blue input cell that produced it. The transparency is total. And it all comes down to a really logical structure. By treating the concrete strictly as a hollow box minus its openings, making sure the formwork captures every single exposed face, and building up the complex reinforcement bar by bar using standard unit weights, the template aligns perfectly with standard industry measurement rules. Oh, and we definitely have to talk about how it protects you from, well, Yourself. The contrast between the black formula cells and your colored input cells is an absolute lifesaver. The black cells contain all the locked, safe formulas doing the heavy lifting. Because your typing is completely isolated to the blue and yellow cells, you simply won't accidentally break the math while you're rushing to finish a takeoff.
The beauty of this is that it isn't some bloated, complex software suite you need a week-long training course to understand. It's ready to go right out of the box. You just open it up, start on the lift shaft quantification sheet, and you are immediately productive. It takes a highly specialized, tedious task and turns it into a repeatable, universal process.
So, I'll leave you with this thought. If a complex lift shaft takeoff now only takes a few seconds of data entry, how much time could you reclaim on your next major tender? Imagine taking all those tedious measuring hours and putting them into actual value engineering instead. If you want to grab this tool, the source notes say to check out the download link directly in their original post. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and here's to working smarter, not harder.